Hey everybody in the reggae universe, welcome to a conversation in dub hosted by me, Mark Ramondi.
And me, James Pasqua. This podcast is all about exploring the massive world of reggae and dub music, from its roots in Jamaica to its influence on various music genres worldwide.
This podcast also explores the intricacies of dub through insightful conversations, interviews with artists, and in-depth analysis of iconic tracks. We don't just talk about the music, but also the stories behind it, the techniques used in its production, and the social and political context that shaped its development.
Our goal is to promote mindful listening, taking you, the listener, on the journey the artist intended. Through this process, we hope to introduce you to new music or give you a new insight on music you already know and love.
This podcast is brought to you by Rootfire, a platform for reggae music worldwide with a mission to empower artists and nurture the community that supports them. You're here because you love reggae music and want to be a part of that community. We're here to help connect the dots.
If you have any feedback for us, be sure to email us at aconversationindub@gmail.com or message us on Facebook or Instagram at aconversationindub. We love hearing from you. Now,
let's get to the show.
Hey, bro.
What up, brother?
Whew. Got you at the only half hour you have all week, huh? To do an episode? That's good.
Yeah, man. You know, things are picking up. Things are wild. You know,
With you? That's never happened before in the history of your life.
They say that like there's the 5 main stressors that you could go through in life, right? Or it's like you can lose a loved one, you change of jobs, buying a house. There's other ones. I forget the other. Having a baby, and then there's another one. Getting married. Did I mention that?
You didn't, but how many did you do in the last few months?
4 out of 5 in the past 4 months.
Ooh.
So the only thing we have not done is had a child, which, knock on wood, I'm glad we can put the pause button on that a little bit. But yes, as you guys know, August 15th was when my mother passed. June 6th was when our wedding was. And on Friday, my wife and I close on a house. Now, next week, by the time this episode comes out, we'll actually have the home, which is going to be wild. So we're doing the painting and renovations, then we'll be able to move in. So, like, things are quite hectic, quite crazy. And I am really excited to use this opportunity tonight to do this episode to kind of just slow down a couple notches and just listen to some dub, talk about some music, because this is exactly what I've been craving. It's exactly what I've been craving for a week.
You've been crazing, and now you've been craving dub.
Dude, it's like all there. So yes, we are here, we are awake, we are moving, and we are grateful to get back into this dub seat. So talk to me, man. Let's break this down and get into it today.
We're going to feature a song that maybe nobody's heard before. Very few people. But everyone has heard this band's hit song, which is, of course, Pass the Dutchie, which is a cover of the Mighty Diamonds' Pass the Cutchie. But everyone knows that song. It's been played, overplayed, in my opinion.
Yeah. Agreed.
Not many people talk about all of the other songs on that album, which is just fantastic. The album is called The Youth of Today. It came out in 1982, recorded by the band, which consisted of 15 and 13-year-olds and one 11-year-old. So we're going to get into that. But right now, we're going to listen to Blind Boy from the Youth of Today album by Musical Youth. So, pause this podcast. Blame Spotify. We didn't do it. Pause this podcast. Go find that song. It's available on all streaming platforms and YouTube. Maybe you have the record. Go play the record. Maybe you have the CD. Go play the CD. We're going to listen to Blind Boy, and then we're going to be back to talk about it. Ready?
Let's do it. Yeah.
We are back. That was Blind Boy by Musical Youth. I hope you guys paused it and listened to it and came back, because we're going to talk about it. What'd you think, Mark?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard that one.
Yes, so like let me talk to you a little bit about like my history with Musical Youth because it was started by you, but like a long time ago. I'm talking like potentially when we were in high school. You introduced me to Musical Youth. And I remember, just as a funny story, like going down that rabbit hole by myself and listening to this whole album. And when I was done with this album, my first initial feeling was furious because I was like, man, I'm not doing it right because these kids are ripping it. And I don't think I ever listened to it again for like maybe 5 years. And then when I went back to it, it's really cool to kind of break down what's happening and to hear like I just feel like these kids were so overly saturated in this genre to understand it so well to be able to have this be such like a second nature thing to do.
Well, it's good that you picked up on that because the band was formed by Frederick Waite Sr., who was in the Techniques vocal group
Okay.
from Jamaica.
There you go.
3 of his kids are in this band.
Yep.
And then 2 other brothers are in this band. They're not related, but there's 2 brothers
But
and then there's 3 brothers in this band.
yep. It makes sense. I mean, like if you have to eat, sleep, and breathe this to just do that as effortlessly and know where things place, where things go. I mean, here's the thing: if you break it down, right? Like I've been playing my instrument since I was 3, right? At the age that these kids are, nothing that's happening here instrumentally is insanely difficult. It's not like they could not do it if they've been training ever since they were born, right?
Technically.
But to do it technically, but to do it with this much precision and understanding of this genre and to make it be so orchestrated and well put together is mind-numbingly incredible. To be completely honest
and
with you.
feeling. It's like when you watch those videos of like 10-year-olds shredding blues solos. You're like, how does this kid know how to play the blues? And why does this kid know how to play the blues? Right?
Why is the better question. See, you're absolutely right. And like one thing that I've found, and this is like the coolest thing about teaching kids of all ages and adults. Like my youngest one right now is 4, my oldest is in their 90s, and I've got everything in between.
Ooh.
Right? Kids, if they grasp the technicalities of what they have to do, can enter a flow state on command. And it's really cool because they have no inhibitions. They have no walls up. It's just feeling. And that feeling for them, just like for us as musicians, it's really fun. But when you're really young, it's really special. But you don't know it's special, which is why it's so easy for you to do it. It's just what you do. And that's kind of what these kids exemplify when you hear what they're doing, how they just flow, how they connect, how they listen, how the song folds into itself the way that it should. It's so natural, and I wonder if at the time, if they knew what they were doing was as big of a deal as what it is, because I doubt it. They were probably just doing the thing.
Probably. They were just hanging out with their brothers and friends, you know? They're like, let's
Exactly.
listen to a bunch of these records. Let's make a record like this because my dad
Yep.
wants us to, you know? And he was the original singer of the band before Dennis took over as a singer. Now, if I
Interesting.
showed you this band and there was no backing vocals, you would never know that they were
No.
all kids.
Not at
I mean,
all.
we got
Not
15-year-olds,
at all.
13-year-olds, and one 11-year-old at the time.
No.
So,
No, not at all. Which is incredible. I would just think these were seasoned musicians who've been doing this and in the grind of this for a long time.
right.
So it's really crazy. But I just like the instrument choices. Like, was that like a metallophone or whatever? Like we're talking like these are like instruments that you would see in like a 4th grade classroom, which is kind of funny because they're probably just like, yeah, we got this. We know how to do this. Like,
I mean, if you listen to reggae music in that time period, there's some interesting choices, especially when like synths were becoming more popular and you can emulate
Oh, yeah.
anything, and they weren't the best at emulating things,
no.
but you use them anyway. I mean, we talked last week about Augustus Pablo using a melodica. That is a children's
Exactly.
instrument, straight up.
Yes, it is.
That is like a beginner children's instrument, but he made a career out of it, and we're still using it today because he did. So
Yeah, you're
it
absolutely
might
right.
sound a little cheesy, but like I wouldn't want it any other way.
No, but like that's the thing is like you isolate these instruments on their own, and I'd be like, what could you really do with this? And then these kids come along and they're like, this is what you can do with this, and it's like, oh, okay,
Let's slap
like
some reverb on it. Oh, it sounds great now.
it sounds great. Like I mean, I don't know. There's so much you can learn at all levels studying musical youth and studying these kids and seeing how this comes together. It's really kind of cool.
The song always drew to me because of that drum fill that he uses over and over, but right in the beginning is just so sweet. Slow.
It's so sweet.
It's so reminiscent of like a Sly Dunbar drum fill. And then just the rest of the song, the drums and bass are locked in.
It's something about that 4 on the floor that hits you from the beginning of this that gives this song such forward momentum. So much momentum. Like when this kicks in, you can't not move your body to this. Like it's impossible. It's impossible.
That's one of those weird songs where it's a stepper's beat, but the guitar is doing like the double time. Where like it shouldn't work, but it does. You know, Bob Marley has a few songs like that. A lot of those groups have a few songs like that.
And what that does for me is it accentuates the percussiveness of every other instrument so much, you know? And that's really, really cool. I mean, it gets you moving, and it's just done so incredibly well.
I mean, then there's something stabbing on like every eighth note of the song.
Yes, there's always something that's just hitting you, and it's hitting you from different angles, and I love that. That's one of the things that I like the most about reggae is it's just like you don't know like where you're getting hit from, but you're getting hit constantly, and it's a really cool thing.
And then, of course, the dub section. I mean, it's teased a little bit. You got the guitar, and you got that whatever that is, the flute. Keyboard sound, and then right into some dirty drums and bass.
That bass, dude, it just when it drops to just that, you're like, hold on, they got something to say, and you gotta listen.
Whatever reverb they got on there is just chef's kiss.
I also just love the natural raw recording style of this where you can hear every imperfection and just vibe with it and flow. Like you can feel their flow in this, and it's a really cool thing.
Yeah, totally.
But this is a really awesome track and really fun. And like honestly, it's great to do for everybody out there who's just like who's heard past the Dutchie but really hasn't gone into a deep dive of musical youth. It's probably time. Like listen to this whole album. It's really worth it.
The youth of today. There's a lot of heavy songs on there, like this one. This one's pretty heavy. There's other stepper songs. There's toasting on it.
See, that's what I want to say. There's actually a lot of diversity on this album. Like, I mean, that's one of the cool things about it is it kind of shows the broad range of understanding of the genre of its entirety that this band kind of had. And this is one of those albums that really kind of keeps you guessing as to like what's going to come next. And it really does hold your attention, I feel like.
Yeah.
So this is worth a playthrough. I was very surprised when I listened to this album for the first time, not just because of the talent of the kids, but also of the structure of the album. I was like, dang, like this is just well put together.
Totally. And everyone knows Pass the Dutchie. The album opens with that. Get it out of the way and then move on because it's heavy right after that.
Yeah, it is. This was a really awesome track to kind of break down and listen to today. You know, nothing too crazy, just some really awesome rootsy stuff, and hopefully introducing this side of musical youth to people out there if you haven't really checked it out before.
For sure. And 2 of the members joined up as a duo, and they're still out there doing something. I haven't really seen what they're doing. I don't know how it is or what it is, but musical youth is still around. It's just 2 of the original members. Unfortunately, the drummer and the bass player have both passed since this.
The fact that we still have some members of musical youth out there, hopefully they can find this podcast episode and maybe come on and tell us about how this story kind of came to be.
That would be wild.
There's so much to talk about. Like, it's one thing to talk about the connection that you have with your friends at that age, which is huge. But it's another thing to find like that fame, like that one hit wonder fame. Like wow, I really would like to know, like, what was that like, and what did that do for everybody's lives? Some for the better, probably some for the worse. Like, I'd imagine that things like that have so many different odds and ends, but the story of Musical Youth, I feel like, is just as entertaining and interesting as this album in itself, and it is something that I would love to be able to unwrap here with everybody.
That'd be cool. Also, if you're listening and you're doubting that kids actually played this album, go on YouTube. There's a lot of live videos of these guys playing at this time period, and the live videos are just fantastic. They do live dubbing, and they go all in. They're like super serious about it. And there's videos of them hanging out at King Tubby's with Prince Jammy at the controls, and like Sugar Minot's there. Like they were really in it. And I just wish that the next album was just like this one. They could have been like the mega roots reggae band from the UK at that time.
Yeah. But see, that's where the stories are. Things happen.
Things happen.
And like the dynamic of bands are rough too, especially at that age. And, yeah, we would know nothing about that. But no, it's definitely a story worth telling, because I feel like nobody knows it, really. Everybody knows past the Dutchie, but they're like, whatever happened, and nobody's really asking the question. We are asking the question. Musical Youth, what's been up? What's going on? We'd love to be able to give that story a voice and to give them another presence again, because this album definitely deserves to go down as one of the greats, and it really holds up, which is fantastic.
For sure. Musical Youth, Blind Boy, 1982. What a ride. What a ride.
Just great, man. And exactly what we needed this week. Slow down, listen to some dub, and take it all in. And, as we're going through all these transitions and changes on my end, I'm excited to kind of be able to plant. We've got a new home that we'll be able to kind of set up for a studio and get back to our regularly scheduled dub. Ooh. So that's going to be a real exciting thing.
I like that.
Yeah, right? Yeah, we got to use that more. Regularly scheduled dub. It's a good one. Put it on a shirt. But but listen, everybody out there, thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this track tonight. I hope this was a chance for you guys to slow down the pace of your week and just enjoy some dubs. So like always, everybody, remember,
keep dubbing.
Keep dubbing.
Thanks for listening to A Conversation in Dub, hosted by James Pasqua and Mark Raimondi. Conversation in Dub is brought to you by Rootfire, a platform for reggae music worldwide with a mission to empower artists and nurture the community that supports them. You're here because you love reggae music and want to be a part of that community? We're here to help you connect the dots.
This show is produced and edited by James Pasqua. Our theme music is an original composition called Keep Dubbing by James Pasqua and Mark Raimondi. If you want to hear previous episodes containing full songs, you can find them all on Spotify. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at A Conversation in Dub. And if you have any feedback, requests, or just want to talk about music, reach out there or email us at aconversationindub@gmail.com. Make sure to rate us on your podcast platform of choice. And as always, keep dubbing.